Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, May 22nd. Welcome to the special meeting of our Placer County Board of Supervisors. We will begin with a flag salute led by Supervisor Wygant.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we will start with our first item and have our county council report.
As a point of clarification, what I'll do is I'll read in the fact that the item in front of the board is a closed session item of anticipated litigation. Although I normally don't give a recap of the law on these particular issues, we've had substantial public comment challenging the ability of the board to go into closed session. So if you'll indulge me for one quick second, in the Brown Act, there is a provision that expressly allows, and I will cite to it, it's 54956.9 D4, which is exactly how we've noticed this proceeding, that permits a local agency, and I quote, to confer with its legal counsel on matters which will depend on the strength and weakness of the individual cases developed from conferring with counsel. A local agency of necessity must be able to decide and instruct its counsel with respect to these matters in private. And I am quoting the Southern California Edison Company case as well as an Attorney General opinion. It is my opinion that the board has every legal right and authority to adjourn to closed session to consider one item of anticipated litigation, which is it's in front of the board today, that the chair has conferred with counsel, specifically me, about the authority to do so, and that this has been lawfully noticed as such. With that, Madam Chair, if you'd like to, because this is a special meeting, we must still entertain public comments on anything that is noticed on the agenda. If you would like to entertain those comments before we adjourn.
Yes, so it is appropriate for us to hold public comment on any items that are only on this agenda, and no other public comment on other items. So if we have public comment, we will take those. For those who are calling in, we ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Keep them to 3 minutes or less, and we will ask you to wrap up. Thank you very much. We'll take the first call.
Please state your name for the record.
Yes, my name is Kathleen Crawford, and I'm a resident in Roseville, California. And although I recognize that legal counsel has opined that this could be a legal meeting, there are still a number of concerns out here in the community about the number of special meetings that you've been holding with very short public notice, as well as the potential content for this litigation. I would hope that you are not intending in any way to sue the governor or the state of California. That would be a waste of taxpayer money and a foolish endeavor. I also would hope that you do not at any time during this closed session discuss COVID-19 or reducing the authority of our public health officer. All those are issues that have given substantial public comment in the last several weeks, and I'm finding it quite suspicious that this is now the third special meeting called with minimal notice, and it appears to me that possibly you are not managing your agenda very well, or that you are trying to do something without much public scrutiny. To call a meeting on a Wednesday night at 6 p.m. with barely 24 hours notice that you then subsequently canceled, but then have now obviously called another special meeting 39 hours later on Friday morning at 9 a.m., just raises a lot of concern out here in the public about how you are operating on behalf of the citizens of Placer County. So please proceed cautiously, and please do not do anything that would be in any way against the current state of California or the governor. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please.
Good morning. Please state your name for the record.
Yes, my name's Catherine Curtis. In the past, I've expressed concerns about trying to sue the governor and the cost that could come up with that. Well, I want to remind Mr. Erler, Eagle Boy Scout, of his Scout law. Point number one is trustworthy. Are you so trustworthy that you did not get reelected by your district? Loyal. Is suing the governor in a nationally declared state of emergency loyal? 3, helpful. I haven't seen you even having a mask with you to protect others. Do you have a protective bubble around you that I don't see? 4, friendly. Risking losing emergency funds would hurt our local city governments as they have higher expenses just to get safety officers in PPP. Is being a friend. 5, courteous. Passively yelling at Dr. Sassone in April was even commented on by Ms. Wybatt as being enthusiastic. 6, kind. That would entail encouraging others to wear face masks in public to protect others from whatever germs we might be carrying around. 7, obedient. Follow the governor's stay-at-home and reopening rules. Would be obedient. 8, cheerful. Give this time. Stop and smell the roses. 9, thrifty. Special meetings create extra work for staff and costs. You're taking up their time, and whether it's our overtime dollars from the taxpayers or their personal time. Number 10, brave. Who is asking you to sue? Who are you being brave for? 11, clean. I'm doing yard and house improvements to improve my neighborhood. I don't have to go to the gym for exercise. 12, reverent. My church has decided they will follow our bishop's rules as to when we will be reopening, no matter what the governor says. I don't want you to waste the taxpayers' money and county staff's time and energy to sue the governor. Be patient and trust the process to reopen safely. Thank you.
Next caller, please. No?
My name is Barbara Smith. Thank you very much for taking my call this morning. I am also interested in the fact that this meeting opened with a statement from the County Council regarding the Brown Act, which leads me to believe that there is indeed a great deal of concern in the community that these special meetings and the way they have been handled is very concerning, in that it appears that you may be meeting the restrictions of the Brown Act, but you're certainly not meeting the spirit of full transparency and full disclosure to the community. And it is unfortunate that we find ourselves in a serious situation where we have to rely upon our public officials and we don't feel that they're working in our best interest or with the integrity that we expect when we elected them to their positions. So I ask the Board of Supervisors to think very carefully about how they are being perceived in the community and whether they're working for us or whether they're working for some political agenda or someone's personal agenda. So please be very careful when you think about that. And also, my understanding is that if you haven't noticed anything regarding COVID-19 on the notice itself, that is not a subject that you can have any discussion upon in closed session. And that is also another Brown Act issue. So I would appreciate you making sure that you confine your discussion today that doesn't include anything that has to do with those items that were noticed on the canceled May 20th meeting. Thank you very much.
Next caller, please.
Good morning. Please state your name for the record.
Hi, my name is Emily Ann Ward, constituent of District 1. And I just wanted to make a comment to the Board of Supervisors. As like many of the previous callers, I am concerned with the lack of transparency. It seems that the Board of Supervisors is currently having this, second closed meeting, with the first one on Wednesday being canceled, seemingly due to a ton of public comment that we are concerned about potential litigation. We're not over with this pandemic, and we know that we're doing well with flattening the curve and staying sheltered in place. So I would just ask that in this closed session, like previous callers, we don't discuss litigation of the governor or the state of California, as I think that is extremely costly to your constituents, and that's not what we want. What we need right now is transparent leaders that are listening to public health officials. I ask that you keep the authority of Dr. Sisson, as he has served our community very well, and lead with science over anything else to protect the rest of the money. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next caller, please.
No more callers.
All right, no more callers. Thank you for your comments. And with that, we'll close public comment, and we will move into our closed session.
The board will now adjourn to closed session to consider one item of initiation of litigation.
Thank you.
May 26th, 2 days ago.
All right. We are back from closed session, and I will have County Counsel report out.
The board met in closed session to consider one item of initiation of litigation, one potential case. The board heard a report. The board took no action, but continued the matter to the next scheduled agenda. That concludes the report out of closed session.
Thank you, Karen. And with that, we will adjourn to our next special meeting. We're going to hold a special meeting on Tuesday, May 26th at 10 a.m. So we are adjourned until that meeting. Thank you, everyone.